So guys, Tastytrade came out with this new study. I'm glad they did it, but it did kind of make me question myself a bit. So there was always this question that I always sort of assumed was okay. I did some other proportion studies to kind of make an assumption about it, but it's this assumption that if I have my RUT position and it goes against me, my theta is going to be 0 for some time. Will I get that back, right? I did some other proportion studies, or I did some proportions to kind of come up with the idea that I would get it back, right? But with this one, they really clarify it. So, with the T-Rock model, you look at it in terms of theta. You have this much theta, you're going to collect this much. With this model, instead of using theta, they're just using straight up credit. Like, you have this much credit, you're going to collect this much. So that's really good. It clarifies a lot of stuff. But we're going to get into why it was somewhat problematic. So with the new study, I was thinking about this as my 30 delta, but I really can't think about it in terms of my 30 delta. So I looked at it in terms of the straddle. Is the straddle in the new model the same as the straddle in the T-Rock model? And this is what happened. So in the T-Rock model, your straddle gives you about a 0.43% CAGR, right? Around the 0.43, 0.50. So if you have that much, you get about that much, right? So I wrote that down there. Now, with the new credit thing, this is the credit. Now you're collecting 0.11. That's your new thing, right? It's like, that's half. So I was concerned. I was very concerned with that. So I delved deeper into it. So once I delved into it, I did this. I proportioned the 16 delta on T-Rock and the 16 delta on the new credit thing, right? Because the problem with straddles is that the credit changes around a lot. Like one day you could be getting 15 and then the next day you could be getting 30. The credits is very volatile with straddles. But with the 16 delta, typically you don't get as much of a credit increase, but you do get a widening of the break-evens. So I did the same thing with the 16 delta, and we did it at 0.24 CAGR and 0.20 CAGR. Right, 0.24 is at a 35% collection rate, 0.20 is at a 30. And you get essentially that much. You get that at 35% collection rate and that at 30. And then with the new credit thing, you get it $6.87, you collect 0.25%. That's what you collect. So in the 16 delta, both models are very well proportioned. They work really well. They're both saying the same things. Okay. So if new model threw you off, it's because of that.